Hi, I'm Danny, and you're about to watch a new episode of CEO Series with Iulian Circiumaru and Andrei Cretu, co-founders and co-CEOs of Benefit 7. Benefit 7 is a B2B company that provides benefits to more than 20,000 employees in Romania through a subscription model called 7 Card. Andrei and Iulian are not only hardworking and smart entrepreneurs, but also people full of positive energy and fun to hang out with. They also have a great co-founders chemistry. I hope you'll enjoy this discussion. Thank you very much.
One would be Hard Thing About Hard Things, Ben Horowitz, and the other 0 to 1, Peter Thiel. I would assume, they are both about entrepreneurship, but they look at it from very, very pragmatic way, showing aspects that are not typically covered, the one that you struggle every day with.
I would first of all recall Nassim Taleb's books, Black Swan and Anti-Fragile. The last one, Anti-Fragile, especially because it brings a new concept that you can take across many fields, including in your personal life, and essentially it builds on the fact that negative shocks can in the end have a positive effect if you know how to manage them. Again, it can apply from investments, entrepreneurship, economy, and so on, health, and many other fields. And also Warren Buffett's biography, Snowball. It's a great book. It's filled with life lessons and also business lessons. And I would also mention Good Strategy, Bad Strategy. I think the author is Richard Rumeld. It debugs a lot of what strategy is and what strategy is not in the world of business. That's a tough question.
Yeah, that's definitely a tough question. Now, I would think what comes to my mind first, it's about our first steps in entrepreneurship when we were working in consulting and trying to put 7 cards first, make it real, then make it work, and a lot of people were saying that you cannot make a startup work if you have a full-time job. Mm-hmm. And we didn't saw it as advice, but yeah, people were putting it that way, meaning if you want to make it work, you have to quit your job and dedicate yourself full-time. I don't know what it was. It was a blend of luck, of making things pragmatically work, and having a good first team to rely on. But we proved wrong this initial advice, and so quite happy that we didn't listen to it. And best advice, I would I would pass the ball.
Oh, the first thing that came to my mind when you asked, probably the best advice I got in my life was from my parents when they insisted that I go and study abroad. It's for sure the thing that had the highest and the strongest impact in my professional life and what I later became. Mm-hmm. If I am to mention one of them, it probably is keeping myself organized on a notebook, and also trying to keep my notes not only on a paper, on a hard copy notebook, but also in the cloud, on Evernote or other tools that I can access both from my phone, my tablet, or my laptop. So I try to keep reminders. I try to keep my agenda as well as organized as I can. So I think that's probably the most important one.
We have around here at the office, I don't know where exactly, we have a picture that says something that we have well thought strategy. It's called doing things, and I think what's important is to strike the right balance among planning your work, your actions, and being analytic about them, and actually doing them. Because at times, I think it happens to everybody, to us as well, that we fall in one of the two categories. Either we put too much emphasis on planning and on trying to be more productive. Other times we are being active, but not sure if we are being productive in the right direction, right? So it's important to keep the two in a good balance. Many. I mean, consulting is definitely the foundation, of our professional life, and it basically, it was the maturity process of us, from a professional point of view. So it changed us in ways that probably we are not even aware of. Definitely. Starting from having a high level perspective on things generally, not being very much entrenched in thinking particularly on a specific industry or specific topic, always trying to see to see in extension of the things that you're typically dealing with, and in balancing again the idea of balance, the strategic aspects with the tactical aspects of doing things. So
I think what I feel that helped me a lot was seeing the big picture and being able within this big picture to have a red thread and being able to connect the dots. And have a logic in everything you do. So not just, of course, it's said that in entrepreneurship it's important to get things done and put yourself to action as quick as possible, test concepts, test ideas. But I think it's not easy to keep the high level image and being able to see it across a few steps ahead. And seeing the red thread in these steps. It's not a very structured split, very well defined. Andrei is definitely more on the commercial marketing side, and I take more of the finance, operations, and other functions. But if we are to talk about the day-to-day things, I would see more of a long list of actions, of to-dos, and then everyone just takes things gradually one by one, and we try to get things done along the way. So yes, we have some areas that we feel more comfortable in, and I think it's normal this way. But again, when it comes to day-to-day things, it's just taking one by one, and whoever is available for the next task just takes it and tries to deal with it.
So yeah, I would say we are complementary from many points of view, and not just on taking one task or the other, but also like we are doing now. We are discussing, and out of the discussion we come up with new ideas that separately we wouldn't be able to come up with. So this definitely helps. For sure, this was another topic that raised questions and eyebrows on many occasions. How do we do that? How do we make it work? And but we never thought about it that much, honestly. But when you ask us, definitely I would attribute our success in part to this as well. I definitely think it helped.
maybe it's a common idea, or you probably heard about it, read about it in many places, but I definitely believe it's true. I think the fact that entrepreneurship is about ideas. Of course, it's about ideas as well, but most startups don't fail because they don't have a good idea, but because either the execution is bad. So, and execution, it can mean anything, starting from from the team, from planning, from being organized, rigorous, and so on. So I think for me that would be the difference between the reasons of failing for a bad idea or a bad execution.
So if before I would be very much attracted by a good idea and try to follow that, I now realize that maybe it's much better to have a great team and a mediocre idea, and will probably turn out much better than the other way around.
Definitely. We actually recently it's been on our agenda on a daily basis, and I think now that we are in a growing company, not only in terms of revenues or profits, but also in terms of team size, it becomes more and more critical or important. So the company culture has impact in obviously it's very difficult to trace it from what it is, a very vague concept, to and link it to concrete numbers, but you get to see it on a daily basis at work, and how it impacts people performance, happiness at work, and so on and so forth. And I would mention, I would recall what Andrei mentioned earlier about the fact that working together brought the company where it is today. I think that's part of our culture, and it's not only about us working together, but the entire team, and the fact that, for example, we still have in our team people that started with us 5 years ago, and actually all the key members of the startup are still with us today. It is part of the company culture, and it's probably what the company culture and how it was built without planning, and it just turned out to be this way, brought us where we are today. And it's definitely important. We feel it, we live it every day, even though we don't necessarily deal with it or think about it or try to change it in specific ways. But yes, we come across it on a daily basis.
The challenge going forward would be, with company culture, it definitely, it first is like the aura that comes out of the co-founders, but the challenge with the larger organization, because what comes out of the founders and the initial team definitely has a certain reach, and with a larger organization you cannot grasp everything. So how do you formalize? That's definitely a question on our agenda now with a growing team. How do you make the initial culture that came naturally? How do you embed that into the organization? What are the levers, the mechanism that you ensure that going forward the company will keep the same culture? And that's something that we deal with every day. We don't have all the answers, but quite confident that we will make it work.